Hey artists, well it's time at this point to begin your final version of your self-portrait. And we've done a lot up to this point to get ready for that. We've created a Pinterest board that is just loaded with inspiration. Hopefully there are things that you really enjoyed, or they could just have been things that you appreciated. And then you took time to take pictures of yourself, at least 10 of them. Hopefully you did more than that. You've uploaded those to the Pinterest board as well. And then last week you took time to do some sketches. You took a couple of those pictures, you did some rough sketches, just to kind of help you decide, is this really the portrait I want to do? Or do I want to do something else? And so you gave yourself a couple options there. And also you started to learn about what your face looks like. Maybe you've never done a self-portrait before, and so taking the time to draw yourself helps you learn what you look like, and it helps you as an artist to start getting in your mind the curves of your face, the curves of your, all the parts of your face that we learned about last year. And so now we're going to take time and we're going to create a self-portrait that's in your own style. And that may mean you want to mimic one of the styles of the pictures that you uploaded to your Pinterest board. So, you can look at that. You'll also be looking at the photo that you've chosen to use of yourself, and you're trying to make a work of art that looks like you, resembles you. I should be able to tell it's you. Doesn't have to look exactly like you depending on what style you're going for. Obviously, if you're going for realism, it should look a lot like you. But if you're going for something more stylized, that's maybe cartoony, maybe illustrative, then it doesn't have to look exactly like you. It just has to resemble you. That if somebody looked at it, they'd say, hey, that looks like you. And you say, well, yeah, that is me. So you're going to work on that. Now, whatever medium you choose is up to you. You can do it in all pencil, but if you do pencil, I want to see shading. Now, what type of shading you use is up to you. You remember our back when we did monochromatic animals and we learned to shade with line. You might want to use line to create your shading, but there needs to be shading if you're just doing black and white or grayscale. Or you may want to paint it. You may want to do watercolor. You might want to do collage. One of the cool ways to do a self-portrait is to actually take little pieces of like magazine and find the right colors, and then you rip all those little pieces off and you slowly glue down a bunch of pieces and you make a work of art that looks like you. And it takes time, but in the end it's very cool if you do it right. And so however you choose to do it is up to you, but just know that you need to have shading and or color in your finished product. It's got to be a full page in your sketchbook. When you take that picture of your final product, I want to see the edges of your sketchbook so that I know, hey, they did use the whole page. It's also, let's see, I wrote everything down so I wouldn't forget. You've also got a couple weeks to work on this. And what I would encourage you to do is do this in several sittings. Unless you're just the type of person that can sit down for 2 or 3 or 4 hours and just work on something straight through, this is probably going to take you a couple sittings to get through, because you're going to want to draw things out first, and then you've got to decide how you want to shade it, how you want to color it. And so it might just take you some time to work through it. Don't wait till the last minute, because then you're going to turn in something that's subpar, and you don't want to do that. So this is probably our last big project that we're going to do this semester. So really try to put something into it. Show what you've learned this year. So it's a style of your choosing. Know that this is a test grade. It's a final version of a project. So definitely want to make sure that you're doing your best, and make sure that you're working from that photo of yourself and from your inspiration. If you're doing your own style and you really don't need to work from one of the pictures that you've downloaded, that's fine. But if you're working from something specific and you're trying to mimic the style that you're seeing, make sure you're looking at that and looking at the pictures of yourself a lot. You should probably be looking as much as you're drawing. And if you err on one side, spend more time looking, because you're studying with your eyes. If you're not looking at what you're drawing, it's not going to look like you, because I doubt that any of you have memorized everything about your face at this point in your life. So please look. As always, if you guys have questions, just ask me. Shoot me an email, jump on live time, say, hey, Mr. Jankard, hold it up. This is what I've got so far. I've got a question about this. I'll be happy to help you. So you guys enjoy this. Very last thing I'm going to say is I'm not showing you mine because I don't want to influence the way you guys do yours, because this is meant to be a more personal style. And so I don't want you to feel like I have to do what somebody else is doing or I'm not going to get a good grade. I want you to feel like free to do your own style and approach it your own way. And so I'm choosing not to give you an example in this final step. I think you guys will be just fine without that. So enjoy. I can't wait to see what you've got, guys.